Hello, this is Will with RCBS, and today I'll be showing you how to find the bullet seating depth for your rifle with the Precision MIC. This handy tool is absolutely indispensable on the reloading bench. The Precision MIC will help you determine your chamber headspace, set your sizing die for correct headspace, and help find the best bullet seating depth for your rifle. Each Precision MIC is cartridge specific to ensure the best results. In this video, you will learn how easy it is to measure and find the best bullet seating depth for your rifle. As you know, bullet seating depth is a critical factor that contributes to accuracy in your rifle. To gain the most accuracy from your hand loads, you'll have to experiment with your seating depth. One of the critical factors is the amount of freebore or bullet travel, which is also known as jump, just before the bearing surface of the bullet contacts the lands of the bore. This distance is related only indirectly to the overall length of the cartridge due to the dramatic variation in overall length caused by variations of bullet shapes. The Precision MIC will give an accurate and convenient way to determine your seating depth where the bullet touches the lands, and it checks to make sure your seater die is set to the correct depth. There is considerable variation in freebore between rifles. This variation requires a two-step method to get the final reading. The freebore tool that is provided with every Precision MIC is used to determine this. This tool consists of a screw, base, and a tip mounted on a nylon connector. To get the freebore tool ready to use, adjust the screw so the nylon connector can be slipped into the base with a slight friction fit. Once the nylon connector is screwed approximately 1/4 inch into the base, place the freebore tool in the Precision MIC. Install the land nut and check the length. Adjust the tool length to obtain a reading of approximately 3/10 inch. Remove the tool from the Precision MIC. Holding the tool by the nylon connector, firmly tighten the screw through the hole with the provided hex key wrench. Be sure to have the screw sufficiently tightened, as the extractor of some rifles may not grasp the rim of the tool, which will cause it to remain in the chamber. The rim must be grabbed by the extractor. If the rifle freebore tool remains in the chamber, you'll have to use a cleaning rod to remove it. Chamber the freebore tool in the test rifle while guiding it carefully to avoid catching on the edges of the chamber. Next, extract the tool carefully. Avoid dropping it on a hard surface. The freebore tool you hold in your hands now represents the distance at which the bearing surface of the bullet will contact the lands. To obtain a usable reading of this measurement, you need to slip the tool into the Precision MIC and screw the land nut onto the body until light contact is made. If you use excessive pressure, you will push the nylon connector further into the base and get a false measurement. Each line on the body represents 0.05 inch, and each line on the land nut is 1/1000 inch. If the measurement has not changed, your rifle has a very long lead, and it will not be possible to seat the bullet near the lands. Write the number down you get from the tool. You'll want to repeat this test a couple more times and write the number down. If you do this correctly, your reading should not vary more than 0.02 inch. Now that you have the measurement where the bearing surface of the bullet contacts the lands, it'll be an important reference point. This measurement should remain constant even if there are changes to the bullet shape, weight, and the manufacturer, unless you're using a bullet with a bore riding design. The next step will help determine the best bullet seating depth for your rifle relative to the bullet depth where the lands are contacted with the measurement above. Before proceeding further, load a dummy round with no primer or powder with the bullet you plan to use seated at the depth you just previously found. Cycle this through your magazine and make sure that it functions. If the round with the bullet seated to this depth functions properly, then a shorter round should also work. To find the optimum bullet seating depth for your rifle, load 9 rounds, varying only in the bullet seating depth. Make sure you're using the same cases, primer, and powder charges for all rounds. Using the gauge to set your seater die, load 3 of the rounds with the bullet seated 1/100 inch off the lands, then load 3 rounds with the bullet seated 2/100 off the lands, then load 3 rounds with the bullet 0.03 inch off the lands. Now's the fun part. Go to the range and fire 3 groups with each test load and compare your results. If one of those groups provided the best accuracy, you can call it good if you're happy with the results and the group sizes. Or you can continue to test and load up another batch of test rounds and go to the 1/1000 inch. To do this, we recommend going to 0.05 inch, either above or below that last seating depth. Now that you have your ideal seating depth, the gauge will help you set up your seating die to that perfect measurement. There can be limitations to bullet seating depth. You may be limited to the rifle's magazine or even the bullet length for short bullets. If the throat on your rifle is too long, then you'll likely have trouble and will need to compromise on your bullet seating depth. It is important that bullets be seated in the case neck to a depth at least equal to the bullet diameter to provide the correct alignment with the bore. With semi-automatic and lever-action rifles, proper feeding is more important than maximum accuracy, so using the bullet depth gauge may not be as helpful for this application. Now that you know how to measure your freebore and get the optimal bullet seating depth of your rifle, you can be confident your hand loads are optimized. The Precision MIC is one of those tools that can look daunting to use, but after you pick one up and read the instructions, take your measurements, it's really easy to get the hang of. If you have been reloading without the use of one of our Precision mics, you're leaving accuracy on the table. Pick up a Precision mic today and see what you've been missing. To find out more information on the RCBS Precision MIC, check them out on rcbs.com.